Okay, so what's our job? Our job, I'm giving you a new job description. Your job is to keep your kids safe. Say that. My job is to keep my kids safe. Okay, and their job is to help keep it that way. So now I'm going to, instead of using the language of fear, I'm using the language of what? Love and safety, that's right. So I want your kids to believe it's their job to be helpful. Wouldn't you like your kids to believe it's their job to be helpful? Yeah. So we gotta, there are certain things you do to make sure your kids believe it's their job to be helpful. So I use the language of safety versus fear. Come hold my hand so I can keep you safe. Okay? Let's talk about what drives behavior. Okay? In order to really respond appropriately to a child's behavior, I got to know what's driving that behavior. I got to know, why is this happening? Okay, what drives behavior? Think about a car. Think about the 4 wheels on a car. Okay, here's wheel number 1, feelings. Remember, strong emotion. There is a hole here that represents your cognition, your thoughts. There is a hole here that represents your feelings, your emotions. They move in conjunction, right? Start to get a little upset, this kind of blocks this off. You're super upset, blocks it off. Super happy, boom. You know, I've seen kids really so happy, they do ridiculous things. They run into walls, right? How many of you, I was saying, how many of you, before your kid, you know, they get real excited when they have their friends over to play, right? How many of you have seen your kids go cuckoo when the other kid comes over? I mean, nut, right? And they do crazy things, right? Okay, strong emotion makes people stupid. Strong emotion blocks the ability to think. If you're really emoting, it's not a good time to talk taxes. Sorry, just isn't. So feelings, anytime a kid is emoting, whether it's happy, I call it happy, sad, scared, right? There are 4 feelings. Mad, sad, scared, and I use happy or glad. And I use those same words for kids up until they're about 7 or 8 because it's called cognitive pegging. Language creates concepts in kids, so I use the same words over and over, so I create a concept for mad and a concept for glad that's a little peg in their head, and then they can hang all the experiences on it. When a kid gets older or as an adult, we can use a wider range, you know, from lightly frustrated to, you know, full-blown out rage, okay? I mean, there's a range in emotion. But feelings drive behavior. What else? Needs. Needs. A kid has a legitimate need. They are hungry, they are tired, or they need your attention. I ask this question, do you believe that attention is a legitimate need? Do kids, I hate to tell you this, children are attention needy. They are, because they need to form what? Connections. Connections on the outside create connections on the inside, so when they're mama, 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 instead of going, shut up, shut up, let's get down on their level, look at them, and connect with them, because that's what's going to create neural pathways between their synapses. Oh, by the way, kids' synapses, they fire like this. Tick, 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 tick. Here's adults. Okay. Ours are firing a lot slower. Also, when a kid's a teenager, the synapses that are used really frequently will develop neural netways, or like I call them paved highways, and they stay in a kid's brain. The other ones kind of drift away. Not to say you can't form new ones, you can, but there's some hormone thing that happens with kids, you know, when they're teenagers, and it's a big shift in their brains too. Do you know how long it takes a brain to fully develop? Thank you, hon. Exactly right, 25. My daughter's 25. I think she's just coming up to the edge of the fully developed here. But, you know, we think, oh, when they're 18? No, honey, good God, no. Why do you think there's so much insurance money that you'd pay for kids with cars? No, their brains aren't developed yet. They do feel invincible. It's not over. Okay, so a legitimate need. An unmet legitimate need causes misbehavior. What else? A lack of information. I use this, I say, okay, if a kid runs into the parking lot, are they trying to commit suicide? No, they don't get about cars. Adults frequently assume that kids know everything we know. I I've seen this with adults all the time, that you believe your kid knows everything you know. You believe your kid knows what you expect from them without you telling them. You believe that your kid has all of the skills that they need without you teaching them. You believe that, hey, they're alive, they've only been on the planet, 5 years, but no problem, they know everything I do. They do not. We have to take the time to teach kids. Okay, and the last driver on the car is beliefs, or a mistaken goal. Does everybody have my mistaken goal chart? Looks like this.
If you don't, it's on the SharePoint site. It was in the handouts. It's on the back of this.
Okay, if you don't, get it. Okay, and then what I'm going to have you do is I want you to stick this on your refrigerator. This is the work of a guy by the name of Alfred Adler. I love this guy. Lived a long time ago, right around the time of Freud, slightly after. But he believed the children who are misbehaving are discouraged, and our job is to encourage them. And what he did is he got into kids' heads. And kids have mistaken beliefs. So the first one on here, your kid's going, Mommy, 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 Mommy. That would be undue attention. Oh, how do you feel? Oh, annoyed, irritated, right? Okay, here's how you act, right? We remind them. Okay, it stops temporarily, but then it cranks it up. But here's the important thing. It is their belief that they do not count or belong unless you are giving them what? Special attention. Now, is that true according to you? No. Is it true according to them? Yes, it is. I find that in order to respond appropriately to children, we have got to get inside their heads because they can't get inside ours. So we got to know what it is that this is their belief. But don't worry on the chart. Don't worry. Just slide your finger to the end and I tell you how to handle that situation. Get down, connect with them, involve them, right? Okay, next one, power. How many of your kids are real bossy? Mom, stand over here. Or, Mom, Dad, do this. Okay, they're real bossy. How many kids are a little bossy? Okay, and then you feel what? Angry, provoked, challenged. Okay, and you can either fight or give in or, okay. Now, here's their belief. Intensifies their behavior. I belong only when I'm the boss or in control. Now, is that the truth? Is that our truth? No, but it is theirs, so we have to understand it. Oh, don't you worry. I teach you how to handle it. You give children choice. Choice empowers children. I want kids to practice making lots of choices, and I want them to make good choices for themselves. But here's how I do it. Okay? I give them 2 positive choices. Both of them would work. Okay? Do you want to hop like a bunny or gallop like a horse to the car? What would work best for you? Well, the kid's going to the car either way. Okay, do you want to get your jammies on or you want to brush your teeth first? What would work for you? Don't forget, I give them 2 positive choices and then I ask this all-important question, what would work best for you? And then I wait. 1001, 1002, 1003. Because kids don't think like we think. Up until the time they are 9 years old, they see in pictures. And even if you go, you want to hop like a bunny, they might go, because they got to feel it too. They're kinesthetic, like, oh, I don't know, let's try the gallop, oh, I don't know, right? So they got to have a little time to think about it. They don't necessarily process as quickly. You're like, what? No, give them a minute to think about it. When I was a teacher, I had to count, because I'd ask a question, and then I'd have to go, because you don't want to call the first one that raises their hand, because you want everybody to think about it, not just one person to answer all the questions, right? So you got to give them time to process. They call it lag time or wait time. It's a teaching technique, so you got to go 1001. So I kind of go fast, so I had to practice going a little slower. It's best if we can pace ourselves to the pace of our children. Kids do not move as fast as we do. Go slow. Go slower like they do. It's much more fun than saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I told this story yesterday. My daughter, when she was 3 years old, I said, today's your day, and you can do anything you want. I'm like, you got me, honey. What do you want to do? I said, what do you want? She said, I want a day where you do not say, hurry up, 1 time. Seriously, it was like a knife in my heart. And what a wake-up call that was. So then I thought, okay, well, what is it that I could do so that I can go a little slower? Well, I had to get up and get my own self ready. I found that when I got up and got my own self ready, I could be a lot more present than when my kids and I were trying to get ready at once. When I got up a little earlier and we left a little earlier, then I could take the time instead of, I'm walking like this, and she's like, it's all too cute. Look at the leaf down here. You're like, come on. Okay, so I want you to kind of slow it down, go at kids' place. Okay, the next mistaken belief is revenge. And this is a tough one. When kids are hurt, or not just kids, but adults, when anybody's hurt, when you're hurt, what's the first thing you want to do? Hurt back. Okay? That hurt back pattern is what's killing this world. And so we got to teach our kids that when they feel hurt, that they got to talk about it instead of trying to just hurt back. Every day I take light and I put it around Mother Earth and I spin out hurt back patterning and I spin in love, peace, and harmony. I do that every day. Somebody says, how's it working? I said, well, I think we need a few more people doing it, to make it really work. It's called a collective consciousness. When enough people hold the vibration of peace and love, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I don't know. Remember that song? No, way before your time. How many of you remember Marilyn McCoo in the Fifth Dimension? Okay, a few of us. Thank you. All right. So, here's what I got to tell you about this. Okay? I've seen kids who are hurt, and the first thing they try to do is hurt back. And all of the children that I worked with, 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds, some 8-year-olds, every one of them that had the ED classification, emotionally disabled, had been severely abused. Many of them sexually abused before they were 5. And I got to tell you, it really messes them up. But I truly do believe that love can transform. Not easy all the time, but it can. I do believe that people can heal and that love can transform, or I wouldn't do the work I do. Not easy, though. Okay, here's what I want you to know. When a kid is hurting, they will act out. They will try to hurt back. And I want you to remember something. I want you to remember these words. That when a child is behaving in the least lovable way, they are in the most need of love. Kiss that in your brain. When a child is behaving in the least lovable way, they are in the most need of love. And that's not our initial reaction, is it? No, it is not. Remember that. Okay, and last but not least, this one's tough to see. It's called assumed inadequacy. And this is when kids just kind of give up. Because they feel like, okay, there's despair, there's hopelessness, helplessness, so they give up. We'll give them up on them, or we'll do for them, okay? And they have this belief. I don't believe I can belong, so I'll convince others not to expect anything from me. I'm helpless and I'm unable. How many of you have ever met kids or adults that have that assumed inadequacy? Yeah, it's pretty painful, isn't it? I have a sister, Mary Louise. I told you about her? Yeah. So, what you have to do is have faith in them. Don't give up on them. Take time to teach them. Encourage them. Not praise. Do not praise children. I don't believe in praising children, but I do believe in encouraging children. Praise is judgmental, and you own it. Good job. Quit saying good job. Instead of saying good job, what do you say? You did it. Thank you. You did it. If you get nothing else from me today, you get, instead of good job, you say you did it. Now, when you say you did it, who owns that? You or them? They own it. Let's make sure they own it, okay? That's encouragement. There's a big difference between praise and encouragement.